Oi, lads. Alright, chat. Are you ready for card review o'clock? I decided I've taken an executive decision with regards to my stream to now become more smiley, you know? It's time to create some more happy content. Hound, Tamer, and Untamed Pup. 3 mana, 3/3 Trampler, and for 4 you can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And if it is Nightbound, then it has Trample again, it's a 4/4. Other wolves and werewolves you control have Trample, and for 4 you can put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Werewolf Tribal Staple. I'll decline my right to comment. Slaughter Specialist. 1B. Vampire Warrior, 2 mana 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 token. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Slaughter Specialist. 2 mana 3/3 with downside is no bueno in the 2 mana 3/3 with upside meta. Gas? I mean, just absolutely trash. I mean, I guess if you're on the play, it's a kind of a 2 mana 4/4, but I don't know, guys. I would say bad. It's not far off being good, but I'm gonna say unplayable. Now, obviously, unplayable covers a very wide range of cards, and this is like quite close to the almost playable part of unplayable, but still unplayable. This card would be good if it wasn't bad. I agree. Unnatural Moonrise, red-green sorcery, it becomes night until the end of turn, target creature gets +1/+0 trample, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card, flashback 4. Butcher the Lineage, 1BB instant, -5/-5, or tokens get -2/-2. Dennick, Pious Apprentice. 2 mana, 2/3 lifelinker. Cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities. Disturb 4. Whenever one or more creature cards are put into graveyards from anywhere, investigate. This ability triggers once per turn. 3/2 flyer. Can't be the targets of spells or abilities. Doesn't do enough, guys. It's also just the wrong colours, straight up. So, not main deckable, no way, in any deck. Sideboardable. What are you even hitting with this shit? Wrong colours? Nah, this is terrible colours for this card. Hates Mizzix Mastery. I mean, there's already plenty of cards that hates Mizzix Mastery. For 1 or 2 already. This in Rakdos, yeah. This in Rakdos is pretty good. I don't believe in this card, chat. Again, very close to playable, but nope. Close ain't good enough. Even in standard, like, why would you play this? Like, what deck would you possibly be building where you would think, I know, Dennick Pious Apprentice fits here? That's good value both ways. No, it's not. You have to cast him, kill him, cast him again from your graveyard, and put creatures in graveyards to get value out of this guy. Okay, it's not quite that bad, but yeah, it's bad. Sneak into Festival. 3 GGG. Sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put 2 permanent cards with mana value 5 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Flashback 10. Why does it have to have the mana value 5 or less thing? It's a bit lame, isn't it? It's a little bit lame. There's just no way this is good. You only get to look at the top 5. You need like 16 cards in your deck that cost 4 and above. Not including this. To hit like a 4 and a 5 drop. 16 4 or 5s. This needs to look at like the top 20 cards of your deck or something. 5 is just nothing. As permanents, yeah. You need to have like 15-ish. 4, 5, 6 plus cards, not including Sneak into the Festival, and they all have to be permanents. So that means that you play that, you're going to need a lot of lands in your deck, 26 or so at least. plus your 15 4 plus cost permanents. 41. A few copies of this. I mean, probably a lot of copies in this if you're going to go to the effort of putting that many permanents. You leave yourself with 15 slots in the deck for 1, 2, and 3 cost cards. Garbage. Garbage. But again, not far off being really good. Top 5 is just like no chance. No chance. Nope. Florian Valderin Scion, 1 black red, Vampire Noble, first strike at the beginning of your post-combat. 1 second. 3 mana, 3/3 first strike. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the total amount of life your opponent lost this turn. Exile 1 of those cards and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You may play the exiled card this turn. Sorry guys, this card's shit too. Absolutely terrible. It's like what's the white red one called? Vigilance, Trample, Recura guy. It's that tier card, you know, it's just bad. War Singer? Yeah. It's just a War Singer card, isn't it? It's kind of like Rada. Yeah. These cards are just not good enough to play in Constructed, man. It can gain advantage the turn it comes into play. Yeah, like this thing's... But, again, dude, what is the golden rule of creatures? What is the golden rule of creatures, chat? I put that question to you. Does anybody know the golden rule? Good early, good late. That's not the golden rule. Good on curve, good late game. Is this good on curve and good in the late game? No. So it sucks. Straight up. There are no exceptions apart from 1 mana mana dorks. Decent on curve, conditionally good in the late game. Yeah, but dude, when it comes to evaluating Magic cards, decent is just like a word that people use to replace the word shit when they want the card to be good. You know? Like if you hate the card, you'll call it shit. But if you want it to be good, you'll call it decent. It's shit. I want this to be good too, but it's shit. Phantom Carriage. 6 mana 4/4. When Phantom Carriage enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a card with flashback or disturb, put it into your graveyard, and then shuffle. When it enters the battlefield, mill 3. When a creature dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from a library, each opponent loses 1 life. This thing's kind of insane and limited, is it not? Like, just a massive dumbass with also some over-the-top damage. Firmament Sage. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, draw a card. Nope. Sunrise Cavalier. 3 mana 3/3, Trample Haste. If it is neither day nor night, it becomes day as Sunrise Cavalier enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, put a counter on a creature you control. Okay, 3 mana 3/3 Trample Haste is almost good enough. Like, can you put a counter on a creature sometimes? Maybe? How is that a 3 mana 4/4? It's not a 3 mana 4/4. It's a 3 mana 3/3. It says it right there, dude. There's a 3 and a 3. It also says it over here. 3 and a 3. And up in the top right hand card, part of the card, that indicates the mana cost of the card. So in this case, it's 1 + 1 + 1, it's 3. So it's a 3 mana 3/3. Most of the time that you play this card, it's going to be a 3 mana 3/3 with no text. Some of the time, in some decks, it's going to be a 3 mana 3/3, put a counter on a creature at some point. So a 3 mana 3/3 with no text is... A 3 mana 3/3 Trample Haste with no other text is 1/2 of a Gruul Spellbreaker, which is okay, but you're not going to put it in your deck. However, the question is, how often do you get a counter? most of the cards so far that let you turn day into night are unplayable. I think there are 0 playable ones. So that's not great for this card. Blue instant. Return creature to its owner's hand. If its mana value is 3 or less, scry 1. Wow. That is really good. What is the unsummon type card that people play in like modern blitz decks? Like what's the other upside of it? Is what is 1 damage, right? 1 damaged face? Vapor Snag, yeah, I don't know what that does though. But I think it's 1 damage. Controller loses 1 life. Okay, I mean, well that's better than this, but like these unsummon with upside cards they're really strong, man. This plus Delver? I don't know, man. I don't think you'll have space for a card like this in your Delver historic deck. There's just too many cards that you already... Like, the deck kind of builds itself, huh? Delver, Channeler, Bomat, Expressive Iteration, Unholy Heat, some counter spells, some spell pierces, some lapses, some burn. This would be a fine card to put in that deck, but there's going to be no space for it. Standard? Well, I don't think you can play it in standard, right? You can't. I don't think you'll be able to play a Delver deck. There's no other creatures for the deck, man. You've just got these 4 Delvers, and your deck's going to be built around it, and you're going to win the games that you draw Delver and lose the games that you don't, but there's more games that you don't draw it, so you're just going to get rolled. Demilich? Yeah, but Demilich, sadly, there's nowhere near enough cheap spells for Demilich, and 1 more is not going to make any difference. It's not even close to enough spells for Demilich. You need like another 5. There's New Shock and New Opt. Yeah, but we already had Opt and Shock and Standard and we couldn't play Demilich. So you're just getting rid of those and adding new ones and it's exactly the same. You've not netted any new spells. You've just got the same amount, which is not enough. I do think a Delver deck in Historic should be good. I mean, it's got only insane cards in it, so... But from what we've seen so far, there will not be a Delver deck in Standard, and we're not even close to there being one. Like, we're 3-4 cards away. And don't get me wrong, that saddens me deeply. Alright, we've also got this Angel Fire Ignition, 3 mana sorcery. Put 2 counters on a creature. It gains Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste until end of turn. Just an absolute waste of a rare slot. You're playing this in Feather? I do not think this will remain in your Feather deck for more than 3 games. If you put this in Feather, man, and you play it for more than 3 matches, I'll gift you a sub. Memory Deluge. Instant speed. Oh, this is a Gandalf draw spell, innit? Alright, what is it this time? What is it this time? Is there ever a set without a 4 mana blue draw cards spell? Look at the top X cards of library, where X is the amount of mana. X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell? What? 4? Oh, it's got flashback. Alright, I see. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. I'm gonna say it, chat. You're gonna hate me for it, but I'm gonna say it. This Gandalf card is pretty good. This draw spell is good. You know my rule on creatures. You know my golden rule on creatures. You know my golden rule on draw spells. This satisfies my golden rule on draw spells. This one will be okay. It'll be pretty good. You're looking for a draw spell in Standard, this will be the one you play. What's the golden rule on draw spells? It has to draw cards and do something else. This does do something else. It lets you play it again. Does not technically draw spells. Yeah, gets around Narset, by the way. I think this one's good, guys. I am very... When it comes to these type of cards, I am cutthroat, man. I will... 99% of the time I'll say they're shit. But this one is good. Only this type of card. I like to think I'm realistic, and I like to consider myself realistic when it comes to evaluating most cards. I highly doubt that there will be a standard control deck with 0 copies of this. I also highly doubt that you'll be able to be greedy enough to get away with playing 4. But there will be... If you're a Gandalf in standard, you're going to want some number of this. It's just good enough, man. It's good enough. 0 is a number. 0 is a blunder with regards to this if you're a Gandalf. Cathartic Pyre. 3 damage to creature or planeswalker, or discard 2, discard up to 2, draw that many. Gas? I don't know, man. Don't think so. It's worse than Dragonfire, because, I mean, the best creatures in red are dragons, or the best mid-range creatures are, so your Dragonfire is better. I don't think you need, like, 4 Dragonfire and some of this. I think you will only be using this if 1, you're not playing any dragons, and or 2, you're getting some additional value of discarding, huh? Like with some flashback cards or whatever else is available from your graveyard. Why will they not let our spells target the face? Every red deck will have 4 gold span, 4 new dragon, 4 dragon removal. Yeah. And then, like, if you're playing black, you've got kind of a better removal than this. If you're playing green, like maybe Gruul plays this, but I'm not sure Gruul really needs that many removal spells. If you're playing red-white, a red-white won't take this. If you're playing like Tamer or something, like a slower version, maybe Tamer plays this. But Tamer doesn't really get any value of discarding though. What can you discard in Tamer? This plus Uro, by the way. Just play dragons and Dragonfire? Yeah, CGB, but I think a Tamer deck could get away with playing dragons, Dragonfire, and this, right? Tamer's the type of deck that could want 4 Dragonfire and then 2 of this maybe. And then you've got your red dragon, 4 red dragon at 5, you've got your Nexus extra turn spell, some chariots, some iterations, some counters maybe. But I just don't I really don't think you want to play this most of the time. Unless you're getting some value out of the discard. Like, what are the... So before all the flashback cards come, what cards does Standard 2022 already have that you can play from the graveyard? So only there's Ebon Death. What else is there? There's not much, huh? Shade. Shade's pretty good. There's not too much, huh? And the new ones that we're getting are not amazing either, really. You don't understand the Moonveil Dragon? How is it good? Ah, it's the best card in the set by a mile, man. Or best creature. So, thing's unbelievably good. Meathook Massacre. Legendary enchantment, X cost. When it enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you gain 1 life. Why wouldn't I just cast this for X equals 0 and it doesn't do enough for that? Does it not? I mean, it's a Bastion of Remembrance for 2 mana, is it not? This thing seems really good to me. I don't know if you want to play it in a control deck, because it's kind of awkward, huh? There's a bunch of 3 toughness creatures now, so you can't use this on 4, you use it on 5, X equals 3 as a control deck, and that can be very problematic. But I think you want to play this in a deck where you're okay casting this on turn 2 for X equals 0, which is obviously quite a specific type of deck, but I don't think control decks will want this, but maybe they do, I'm not sure. I think you have to play it in a deck where you're okay casting it for 0. So like sack deck or whatever. Or mid-range deck with some creatures in it. Where you're fine casting it for x equals 0 and you're also fine casting it for x equals 3, you know? Really cool card though. The number of times this will be in one of my decks is more than 0. I mean, this is perfect card for a Citadel, man. The fact that they're bringing this out when Ghost Rider rotates insults me. I'm gonna have to email Wizards about this. A slap in the face indeed. Burn down the house. Uh-oh, new Phoenix. Monk ass. 5 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. Create 3 1/1 tokens with haste. Yeah, 1/1 Tibalt tokens, huh? Really bad, I think. I mean, Tamer did need a Wrath, but surely not this one. Does 5 damage kill every planeswalker? Doesn't kill any planeswalkers, does it? This must be good. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, only getting 3 tokens is kind of yikes. I'll take 5, please. Maybe 6. Card would probably start being good at 4. I don't believe in this, guys. I am not a believer. Tamer could do with a wipe to play like a couple of copies of it. You're not needing a 4 off board wipe for Tamer, but like a 2 off board wipe would be nice, but I'm not adding this one to Tamer. No way. Sunstreak Phoenix. Alright, here we go. 4 mana, 4/2, flyer. If it's neither day nor night, it becomes day as it enters the battlefield. Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, you may pay 1 and a red. If you do, return Phoenix from graveyard to battlefield tapped. Tapped. No haste, comes back tapped. Oh. Can be on their turn? Yeah, it can be on their turn, but I mean, we've already got Ebon Death that's kind of similar to this, right? And Ebon Death has flash, it's a 5/2. And even that is like somewhat of a disappointing card. Ebon Death actually didn't play out as strong as I hoped it would, but Ebon Death is good though, I think. Like it's good enough to put in a deck, but this is worse than Ebon Death. This is worse than Phoenix of Ash. Yep. And it costs 1 more mana. It's gonna be better in a format full of Wraths. Nobody plays Wraths, man. What year are you living in? Wraths in the Manland meta? I nodded. Okay, I'm sad about the Phoenix. I'm gonna have to give the Phoenix burn down the house. The Meathook Massacre. Cathartic Pyre. Also this. Memory Deluge, sadly, thumbs up. Thumbs down. Thumbs up. This one again, a very sad thumbs down. Ecuador! Ecuador!